Okay, so this particular sequence is a simple floor-based sequence, and it goes with 2 videos that precede this one. So check out this one here for the brain post, for me, post-concussion, and looking at how to balance your vestibular and your visual system. This practice, as I'm pointing up here, is not for beginners, but it is a beginning practice before this practice. After that one, please take a look at the standing practice that comes with this practice, and that one is going to be here. And then this practice. So if you've been through those 2 already, you've arrived in the right place. This practice is going to focus on stretching the neck and shoulders and a change of, let's say, pressure, moving the pressurized systems in your body to bring you towards homeostasis. The practice on its own could be effective for you, but it will be more effective if you've had the previous practices. So take that to heart. For lots of us, we have stiff neck and shoulders, and there are reasons for that related to daily life events and small devices and computers and, getting kind of single-minded on things. So this practice also ends with a short meditation that teaches you how to move from this sort of midline sense of doing, move out. You'll understand this movement much better if you watch videos 1 and 2. Then you're going to wrap it around the brain and come down into the heart. Okay, I'll see you there. Oh, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit like and do those things too. All right, see you there. So for this floor-based practice, where we're going to be coming in is first a neck and shoulder stretch. And again, it's hard to get to some of these muscles in other positions. So we use this particular approach to come into the muscle called levator scapula. So let me move my hair out of the way. Put your right arm down in what I'm going to call cactus pose. So you've got, if this was your cactus standing up, this is your cactus lying down. If I was standing, I would look like a saguaro cactus in the desert. So that's why it's called cactus pose. Okay. Now, keeping your right arm where it is, pick up your hips just a couple inches and press with your heels until you are sliding on the floor. The shoulder blades should stay fixed to the floor. So when you press with your heels, basically what happened there, you can lower your hips down, but keep the pressure of your feet. What should have happened is that the skin on the top of the shoulder and the shoulder blade rolled under because you pressed with your feet. Okay, so keep that pressure with your feet, but go ahead and touch your hips back to the floor. Now, the right shoulder blade being fixed to the ground is important here because now you're going to turn your nose to your left as far as it comfortably goes. And there may be a stretch there at the base of the neck. As you rotate, it might be comfortable to rest your left hand on your right temple. Go ahead and close your eyes if you prefer. And breathe into the muscles on the side of your neck there. Do keep your feet active, so the sense of fixing your right shoulder blade to the floor to give traction for the shoulder blade and the neck, that's very important here. And of course, always work gently and thoughtfully with yourself. We're going to release the left hand, rotate your head to center, relax the right arm. You might feel like a little bit swimmy or a little bit dreamy having done that. Now take the left arm into cactus pose on the floor. Not everyone's forearm touches the ground like that, and that is okay. You could put like a block under the back of your hand if you want to. Okay, so with your head centered, tuck your shoulder blades under, and then pick up the hips just 2 inches and press so that you're getting this left shoulder blade is fixed to the floor. Now, keeping that traction, go ahead and lower your hips down, but maintain the activity of the feet. Rotate your nose to your right as far as it will comfortably go. You can smile at the pain in your neck, which is what I'm doing. And you might choose to take your right Wrist up on your left temple. Now, as you're doing this process, again, with some appreciation for the sensations, you can picture that you're breathing directly into your neck muscles if you'd like. So in yoga practice, we're never kind of wincing or trying to get away from a sensation. So if a sensation is that strong, generally speaking, we recommend backing up a little bit in the stretch. And then release your right arm and roll your head to center. And relax the left arm down, and let's check and see what the neck and shoulders feel like now without any resistance on them. Okay, take the arms out into a T shape. You can have the blocks for something else, but I want to move it so it won't be in the way of my, we're going to do a little twist here. So when the arms are out in a T shape, let's do palms face up. Bring your knees up to your chest, and then bring both knees down to your right side. Try to stack your two knees so that they are equal. Now here's a consideration for anybody who stacks better with a block between the knees. Go ahead and add that so your left knee is not sliding back behind your right knee. Okay, rotate your chest and your heart to the left. Turn your gaze to your left. And now it's not like you're straining, but I'd like you to sense where your left thumb is and that you could gaze towards it. I'm going to suggest that as you're gazing towards your left thumb, and some of you are using imagination because you can't actually see your thumb. Go ahead and now close your eyes. And when you exhale, take your gaze a little further to the left, even past your left thumb towards the floor. When you inhale, relax your eyes to just picture your left thumb. On the exhale, you're taking your eyes a little further than they could go with the eyelids closed. And on the inhale, just as if you're looking at your left thumb. And then release your head back to center. Pick up your knees. And again, you can go to the other side. You could decide that you're going to put a block between your knees or go without. It's up to you. So let's bring both knees up to the chest and then take them both down to the left side. On this side, I will also use a block because it's easier to stack the knees. Turn your chest and your heart to the right. Reach your right arm to the right. And as you're turning your head to the right, mine is kind of stiff in this direction, go ahead and close your eyes and just picture for the first few breath cycles that you're going to be able to see your right thumb. You could try it with the eyes open if it gives you a sense of like, where is that thumb? And then close the eyes and keep picturing it. Now, when you exhale, gaze further to the right than your nose can go, and perhaps even further than your thumb is. And then with your inhale, imagine that you're seeing your thumb. And exhale, the gaze glides to the right a little deeper. Inhale, gaze only at your thumb. Eyes closed, of course, we're using imagination. And then exhale one more time. Release your head to center, and let's raise the knees to center. Reach for your 2 blocks and place them on the flat setting under your feet. And relax a moment. Okay, let's press both heels down against the blocks. Raise your hips up. So this is like a low bridge pose. We aren't all the way up yet, and we've elevated the feet on purpose. When you're raising your hips, use the muscles at the back of your pelvis to lift the hips up. Also engage your hamstrings. So there's going to be tone from the back of the pelvis towards the sitting bones, and then from your sitting bones towards the backs of your knees. The lower back, you want to imagine it's like getting elongated, not getting crunched. And then tuck each shoulder under. And see if you can firmly fix your shoulders down towards the floor. If your shoulders don't easily fix towards the floor because they're tight, sometimes it's helpful to hold a yoga strap between your hands. But ideally, we're going to get the strength and the flexibility to do this. So as you tuck a shoulder under, press it down, and do that on each side. Make the breath smooth, even though you've got some challenges here in the strength of the shoulders, perhaps, or the upper back, or maybe upper back flexibility. Use the breath to support the stamina of your hips and your hamstrings. And then exhale and slide down. Turn your palms face up as you roll your spine down, kind of vertebrae by vertebrae. And then pause a moment and check and see how things are feeling. You'll get more circulation to your head after the release of the pose. And notice what that's like. It's kind of recalibrating this rhythm of circulation between your heart and your head, your blood pressure. Okay, let's repeat. Press into your heels, raise your hips, strengthen the back of the pelvis, reach towards the backs of your knees. This time, if you'd like, you can curl your fingers together, clasping the hands, and then tuck the shoulders under. And again, if that's too difficult to reach, go ahead and use a strap, or sometimes we hold a wooden dowel between the hands to give support too. Squeeze the shoulders really deliberately down towards the floor, and hug your shoulder blades in towards the back of your heart. And keep the breath smooth, so you're working on not just a musculoskeletal thing here, but you are shifting circulation right now, like a little bit less. We've lowered the pressure towards the head. And now we're going to exhale and roll down again. Release your hands and arms and come down vertebrae by vertebrae. Relax your hips to the floor. Relax your body and notice that there is a movement between the heart and the head. And then we're going to take these 2 blocks. You got to use your foot dexterity. And we'll put the soles of the feet together, put the knees out to the side. This is called Setu Bandhasana. And for some of you, I know that you really like this pose with a bolster under the back, from your lower back to the top of your head. And you're welcome to do it that way also. I'll show that in just a moment for those who want to place their bolster. For those who don't have a bolster, this is very suited. Okay, so it's going to encourage the circulation now to move through the whole trunk. And then after a couple minutes, we're going to be going like this, and that'll take the circulation down towards your feet. trick to get one bolster off the shelf. Okay, so the bolster, if you're going to use it, is going to go down lengthwise. And then the soles of the feet go together. And if you're using a bolster, it should feel totally comfortable to your lower back, and it supports your head so that your head, it should feel like you're gazing towards your heart, not towards the space behind you. Sometimes it's helpful to elevate your head with a folded blanket if you feel like your neck and shoulders need that kind of support. Let's do palms face up. Close your eyes, but picture that you're able to see out through the sides of the temples as if you were a cruise ship with those side windows. Imagining your sideways gaze is called divergence. And it can be helpful to keep healthy both your convergence and your divergence with your eyes. Those of us who have concussions, we know very intimately why that is. Let's explore it for direct experience today as you rest. Imagine you're gazing right temple and left temple. Body to relax. Continue gently gazing left and right with your eyes closed. Continuing to rest, slide your legs out. And let's take the gaze down towards the toes. You can have your eyes closed. Just imagine that you're gazing inward and downward. As you gaze towards your toes, deeply relax your mind and your body and consider it to be a time of simplicity. Allow the mind and the body to go a little more deeply now into relaxation. You can even picture your brain kind of recalibrating itself. There's nothing for you to do in the process. Allow this process to go for 1 minute more, maybe 2. Let it continue sinking in so it's very saturating, very penetrating for all the layers of your body. Now lightly wiggle your fingers, your toes. Take a slightly deeper breath in. You can bend one knee at a time. Roll to your side and use both hands to come up to sitting. As you come up to sit, take a seat that supports you to be upright and comfortable. Find your place in your seat. Go ahead and adjust as you need to. And then rest your hands in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes for this. Notice the general feeling you have right now for your brain and your body, your mind and your heart. I'm going to ask us to use a practice right now. It's a meditation practice where we go from the sort of center line here around to the portals, the temples, the centers that give us a sense of social bandwidth and social engagement. And then we'll be moving back to the limbic brain, to the brainstem, the lizard brain. So when you sit like this, first simply just relax and enjoy that you had a practice. And then picturing the line between your forehead and your hairline, the sort of vertical line from the forehead to the hairline. Let's imagine that you're widening that out. So your forehead can be smooth. And I'm going to ask you to glide your attention away from this kind of doing and pushing forward mode. Move your awareness to the sides of your head, to the temples. And imagine the wider view that you would have if you actually had eyes on the sides of your temple. And then picture wrapping your attention around towards the middle brain. So you could picture like between your ears. Invite that part of your brain to deeply relax. It's the part that takes you to sympathetic dominance or sympathetic activation. Your awareness to your brainstem. Think of the like right at the occipital ridge there and sitting at the base of your brain. Also invite that to deeply relax. This is your survival brain. Also the part that takes you to freeze or submit, isolation and withdrawal. So invite it to be deeply relaxed and to know that here in the present, all is well. And then bring that down into your heart. Just sensing also at the heart, the present moment, all is well. Raise your hands to your heart. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me with this practice. I hope it's been beneficial to you. Before you go, please hit the subscribe button and like for any videos that are effective for you, and leave me questions or comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again for being here. Namaste.